We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
Hello, and welcome once again to another Tuesday where we're going to help you leverage your score. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Welcome to another fantastic Tuesday where we're going to lay it down for you. Again, this is important conversations. Every single week, every single Tuesday when you see us, we're going to be having a necessary conversation. Necessary. That you must. These things are what we're going to have to do. If we don't do it, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that at the beginning of the year or the next year or whatever time frame that you're waiting for, if you haven't started doing these very basic principles of how your money works. I'm going to steal that from my girl, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. We got to get it together, folks. We have to get it together. The better we get it together, the faster we get it together, the earlier we do these things, the results are going to pay off. I'm seeing it I'm seeing it full-fold. I'm seeing it in so many different ways. It's almost unbelievable. The credit's doing amazing. The investments are doing amazing. This whole financial literacy piece that we have been running from. And next week's show is going to cover and it's going to touch on a lot of that. But today we're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about some credit products and we're going to make you understand exactly the things that you must do. But before anything, as always, we like to give a shout out to the creator because without him, none of this is possible. So if you haven't thanked the man upstairs or however you signify or choose to address the individual or whatever it is, again, I call it the man upstairs, and I want to give him all the thanks for making it possible. I thank my students. I thank my family and friends for tuning in. And as always, if you haven't, go ahead and grab that device and send somebody in right there. Soul City Network. Go ahead and invite some people. Ask them to come in. Say, hey, that guy's back at it again. He's doing what he always does, which is make sure that you have good content. Make sure that you have, and again, I'm putting it on all of my understandings because guess what? I would love to have you guys log in, sign in, see what we're doing, get a good handle on how we're making it work for everybody. And again, we're doing what we need to do. It's just that simple. It's all about you. It's not about me. It's about how you are going to make this work for yourself. Talked to my students today and they were so engaged. They were looking at me like, wow, how does this guy know so much? Well, I know so much because 30 years. I spent 30 years working for corporate America. 30 years, 19 different companies. I'm ready for this time frame. I'm ready and planned it out so well that I'm the perfect person for this moment in life. All right. If you need help, if you're struggling with your finances, please do not sit around and acting as if, oh, there's nobody there. We can't find no professionals and so forth and so on. The professionals are asking for your assistance. We need you to jump in and render the self-aid that you're looking for. The self-aid. All right, so let's jump on into these. Let's talk credit products. And as we talk credit products, please do not hesitate to put some comments in. Send us your feedback. Send us an understanding that you are engaged. Because if you do that for us, I'm telling you, it's going to be so easy. It's going to be so easy. Easy peasy breezy. All right. So leverage credit recovery, and we're going to be talking about credit products. What are credit products? Well, credit products are, as they say, credit. Again, anything associated with a credit card, anything associated with borrowing, and then obviously with whomever they're giving it to you. So that would be the product piece. Bank of America, your favorite watering hole, your favorite shopping spot, whatever is related to credit, and then whomever is giving it to you. That's why it's called a credit product. All right, before I dive into that, I wanted everybody to take a look at this Dow Jones industry, because this is, again, financial literacy. All of what we're going to be talking about, these credit products, they have a lot to do with what you're looking at here. But I wanted to address really quick some of these recovery areas. Look at that. We've recovered. But overall, if you're not investing, if you're not doing your part, you are missing out. It's just that simple. I don't want to touch on this because that's an area of where a lot of other experts who have better understanding of than I do. But as I tell you, I've been diving into the day trading, getting that investment thing going. But I just wanted to show you this trajectory here. If you look at that line, it's going up, and it's still going up. It's still going up. Do not bet against the United States of America. Do not bet against the United States of America. If you don't know how to day trade, if you don't know how to invest, if you don't know how to do these very principles, simple things, I'm telling you, you're going to miss out, and you're going to miss out richly. Okay? Don't play around thinking that I don't need to do these basic things. Yes, you do. These basic things. When the Dow started, it was at 30. Okay? When the Dow started, it was at 30. The Dow is at 30,000. Okay, 30,000. Get into it. Make sure you know somebody who can navigate you through this trading understanding, this investment understanding, this. I'm not going to say savings because, again, you've already heard me say this. If you put money in a bank, that's a housing location that houses your money, and then it charges you money to get your own money. It's a ripoff. It's a ripoff. But I don't want to harp on that. I just wanted you to gander at that. But look at these recovery elements. Recovery, 19 years. Recovery, 25 years. This was the Great Depression right there. We had another situation right around here, which was, again, a pandemic. And it didn't take us that long. So, again, this is no joke. It ties into financial literacy. It ties into credit products. It ties so well. And if you do not understand what you're looking at, it's time for you to call Tyrone, call Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, call my friend Antonio Kenyatta. You have to talk to somebody who's just as good as I am when it comes to these understandings. You got to get in front of your financial literacy today, folks. I'm telling you, got to get in front of it today. If you do, you will secure your financial future for decades to come. All right. That's all I wanted to say about that slide. But here we are, financial literacy. What is it? Why do I talk so much about financial literacy? So what is it? Financial literacy is the ability to understand, effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. There it is, in a nutshell. All right. The meaning of financial literacy is the foundation of your relationship with money. What more need be said? Your relationship with money. And it is a lifelong journey of learning. So you're never going to stop. You're just going to get better. You're going to improve. You're going to grow as you water it. But if you don't water it, what's going to happen? It's going to die. So you got to add food. You got to add water. You got to give it sunlight. You are a plant. Your financial well-being is a plant. And the more you add good stuff to your financial well-being, the more it's going to pay off for you. So as I stated, and it is a lifelong journey of learning. You're not done. There's more. And I want to highlight something too. You're the CEO of your household. And the CEO of your household, you have to know how to operate your household like a business, just like the businesses you are dealing with. If you think for a second that these businesses aren't using high-tech weaponry, they aren't using algorithms, they aren't using coding, they aren't using the most sophisticated tools to get more of your money, well, I'm here to tell you, you're in for a rude awakening. And it's overdue time for this necessary conversation. All right? Got to make it happen for yourself. The earlier you start, the better off you will be, because education is the key to success when it comes to money. Let me read that one more time. The earlier you start, the better off you will be, because education is the key to success when it comes to money. Education is the key when it comes to your money. Because if you don't know how your money works, I can tell you right now, it's working hard for somebody else. I don't want to even begin to tell you what I've been able to do on the opposite side of this credit piece, this financial literacy piece. But I'm tying it all in together, and I'm making headways. I'm making moves that would rival some of the best economists out there, that would rival some of these best companies that are doing what they're doing. And all I'm doing is learning, while I'm earning. So there you have it, folks. Financial literacy in a nutshell. If you don't understand that by now, I don't know how I'm going to be able to explain it to you. But you got to make it happen. You got to start making it happen this year, prior to the Halloween season, prior to the Thanksgiving season, prior to the Black Friday season, prior to the Cyber Monday season, prior to the Thanksgiving season, prior to the New Year season. Why wait until the new year to start making plans for financial literacy? It needs to start now. It needs to start as soon as this is over. I want you to get the full show in today, but I need you to understand the importance of how this needs to start immediately. Because if you do it, I'm telling you, you're going to have nothing to worry about. Your financial future for decades to come. We are in a recovery. And as you saw that previous slide, with every recovery comes significant opportunities. Why are we going to sleep on this? Black and brown, I'm primarily talking to you. The working poor, middle class, I'm primarily talking to you. Hispanics, Asians, Middle Easterns, you all fit into those working poor and those middle class categories. Those of you who are uber rich, again, I don't need to really talk to you, but you can do some philanthropy stuff to help us out, because it would be a win-win for you as well as it would be a win-win for everybody. But there's more than enough resources out there. So now that you have an understanding of what financial literacy is, let's dive a little further into it. What is credit? All right, so we talked about financial literacy. It's the how you manage your money successfully and effectively. So, but what is credit? Credit is defined in a couple of ways. One is the amount of money you are approved to borrow from a lending institution. So they're going to offer you credit, or they're going to give you something based on what you have shown them as your ability to handle or manage your money. While the approval comes on, an arrangement to repay the charge and additional fees that can or will be applied. That's how it always works. Interest and other things that are added to. So the lump sum is going to be an XYZ amount. That normally is going to be an installment amount. If you're getting a credit card, that could be a revolving amount. So that means your bill will be changing every month. But if it's a fixed amount, that would be something that would be done in an installment, and all the additional fees, they will be applied, and to abide by time restrictions. So you have a time frame to pay this back. And if you don't pay it back in that time frame, there could be some additional fees and penalties that might come. Credit can also be classified as your borrowing reputation. It paints a picture of your payment history and provides the lenders with information regarding the likelihood of your repayment. In other words, your risk factors. The less your risk factors, the more they're going to give you credit, the easier it's going to be for you to get it, and you're going to get it at a much lower interest rate. I want everybody to hear me today. Stop getting excited about inflation. Stop. I've been paying attention. I've been watching. For the last 7, 8, 9, probably 10 years now, I've been so involved in our economy that I probably could be an economist, but I'm not going to. Again, I'm not identifying myself in any stretch of the imagination as knowing more than those who are out there who do this on a regular basis. But I'm sure if I sat down with them, they'd probably look at me and go, hey, you know what? You're pretty smart, young man. You're pretty smart. And I would agree with them. I'm pretty smart. All right. But you got to start understanding this. And you're going to have to learn from many faces, many places. It doesn't matter. You got to get in front of these important things. If you do, I'm telling you, your financial future, the generations that you're now creating for will have in abundance resources. I'm talking to schools, I'm talking to businesses, I'm talking to nonprofit organizations. Why do you not have a financial literacy component already in your organizations? Why don't you? Because if you don't, you need to start getting one. You need to start reestablishing great relationships with those who understand this inside and out. Erykah Badu said it best, call Tyrone. That's all I gotta say, call Tyrone. All right, so credit products means a charge or credit card or program, an online digital wallet or mobile credit or charge account or other credit or charge devices, regardless of form and whether assessed online or offline or where the relevant account information is stored. So it's a variety of different things. It's a credit card. It could be a program. It could be an online wallet. It could be a mobile credit. It could be charge accounts. I mean, there's so many different things that adds up to this credit products. They're online, they're offline. There's so many credit products that popped up over the last couple of years just due to the pandemic. And even prior to, we still had a lot of credit products out there. But I need you to be very, very understanding about these credit products. They're coming with a lot of, shall we say, unnecessary hindrances. And those unnecessary hindrances are being created by the very entities that should be doing a much better job because we've entrusted them to live up to the 5 Consumer Protection Acts, and they're not doing a very good job. I'm talking now to the regulators, the legislators. I'm talking to Congress. I'm talking to CFPB. I'm talking now to the feds, all of you guys who sit up there and regulate these companies, but you're not holding them accountable. You're not holding them accountable because they're affecting millions, in the tens, if not the hundreds of millions, because they're not doing the very thing that these entities were entrusted to do, which was report accurately. I can tell you a lot about Maxine Waters' financial committee because of the fact that all of these reports that I read on a regular basis about how those 3 entities that I just mentioned, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, are not living up to the trust that they have been entrusted to do for us. And all they do, smack on the wrist, pay hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. They're $1 billion. And when you can turn around and you can write off your losses because you are a business, again, going back to what I had said to you earlier, you are a business as well. And if you don't understand that household and you're the CEO, well, you're going to be taken advantage by other businesses. All right. Very simple, very easy. For avoidance of doubt, the terms do not include debt products with an incidental credit feature. So there are debt products out there that have similarities, but they're not doing the same thing as a credit product. So be very, very careful when you're looking at your advertisements. Be very careful when you get things in the mail. Be very careful when you're online searching. Just make sure that it is a actual credit product that's going to be reporting to Netscape, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of those so-called debit products with no actual credit, real reporting. So it might have the ability to pay bills online, but that's not an actual credit product. So be very, very careful with those understandings. But credit products, as I mentioned, charge credit cards, program online digital wallets, mobile credit or charge accounts, credit cards or charge devices, regardless of the form or access, online or offline, as long as it is relevant to the account information and it is being reported in the manner in which you are accustomed to having your credit products report it to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. If it's a debit product, all it's doing is allowing you to have access to the features of paying online, but it's giving you no return or no reward for the actual usage of that product. All right. So, use of credit. When used responsibly, credit can be a convenience and effective financial tool. Again, responsibly. And this is where we've all made those mistakes. And I want you all to hear me clearly. It's not your fault. It's not. We were never taught. We were never trained. We followed mom and dad. We followed grandma and grandpa. We followed a lot of these understandings that we were hoping was going to lead us to financial freedom. And unfortunately, it didn't, due to the fact, again, I'm talking directly to you, due to the fact of manipulation, deception, and corruption within this very entity that was supposed to be protecting us. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I want you to understand that. Middle class, working poor, Black, brown, Asians, Hispanics, whites, Middle Eastern, it's not your fault. Okay, 10%. I want you to own only 10% of this. That you should have kept up with your monthly obligations, and due to whatever the circumstances were or was, it didn't allow for you to meet those obligations. Okay. Our apologies for being human beings. But 90% of it is being orchestrated for your demise by the very entities that I just mentioned: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Don't think for a second that the CFPB is out there helping us. Yes, this is a government entity that's supposed to do what it's supposed to do, but CFPB equally isn't doing what it's supposed to do. I don't want to shine a bad light on government. I love government. I think government is great. It must do what it needs to do, but the individuals or the entities within government, unfortunately, they are failing. They are failing us, the citizens. Can't blame Joe Biden, can't blame Nancy Pelosi, can't blame even Mitch McConnell. I can't blame any of them. All I can do is tell them that you guys either need to do the job or remove yourself from the job. Let those of us who really want to do the job step up and do the job. It's just that simple. If you want to do the job and you've been doing it for 40, 50, whatever odd years, then you should be so proficient at it. There should be no problem with others who are making your lives a little bit difficult when you have to sit down and negotiate. I wouldn't be, if I was in Congress, y'all wouldn't be going on no leave or no vacation. You would be sitting there doing what we need to do, which is working for the people. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I'm not going to harp on it because that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. For a simple credit card to an auto or home loan, credit can become a financial way of life. Cashless transactions are soon becoming the way of the future. All right, that means you're going to be doing less with cash and more with that plastic. And credit cards are among the most prevalent. All right, so you're using it all the time. It's out there. You know what you're doing with it. The problem that I'm seeing is that you're not getting the bang for your buck. All right, that's what I want all of us to be able to do. Get that bang for our buck. Understanding credit is important in order to use credit to your advantage and to prevail or to prevent the common financial pitfalls, bad debt. They're out there. We know they're out there. We know how to help the individuals that might be, again, victimized by this very process right here. If you are dealing with common pitfalls or financial pitfalls and bad debt, let us help you out. Let us help you navigate through to your financial success. It's just that easy. It's not that hard. It's not that challenging. It's about making the time. If you make the time, I'm telling you right now, not only will you get the desirable outcome, but it will benefit you for decades to come. All right, so credit. Let's talk about the 4 common forms of credit, because there are 4. Okay, 4 common forms. Let's do it. So you have your revolving. All right, so as I stated, revolving basically, in a nutshell, it's revolving. If you get a credit card, that means 30 days. It's revolving. It's revolving. It might go up. It might go down. It's going to do a bunch of things for you. But as long as you meet, again, the terms and conditions of that agreement, you're going to be fine. It can revolve. It can do whatever it needs to do. This form of credit allows you to borrow money up to a certain amount. The lending institution sets a credit limit or the most you can borrow. In revolving credit, the borrower revolves the balance by rolling from month to month until it is paid in full. Interest charge typically occurs from any revolving balance. So that's what we talked about already, that interest. Anytime you borrow something from somebody, you're going to be giving them something extra back based on your credit. It could be a high interest rate. And also, again, based on your credit, it could be a low interest rate. If you are living full and true to your understanding about credit, you have had some mistakes. If you are living full and true to your credit, you might be the best and have never had any mistakes. And that's okay. It's all right if you've made mistakes or if you haven't. Now's the time to get correct, get right, so that you will not make these endless mistakes over and over and over and over and over and over. As the money is paid back, the balance, or excuse me, the difference between the maximum credit limit and the current balance is available to be borrowed. This is the most common form of credit issued by credit cards such as Visa, MasterCard in store, and gas cards. So again, Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, American Express, different terms and conditions, but primarily revolving, so they all pretty much do the same thing. If you have a store card or a gas card, that is going to make life a little bit easier too, because it's directed at those entities that you do business with. And once those entities are done, once those entities, they can change it into a credit product. Okay, so you can easily put that into a store card or a gas card. These are just products that, again, they're specifically designed for one entity. Say for instance, Old Navy. Old Navy is a very popular. The Fishers, they own Gap, they own Banana Republic, and they own Old Navy. So they're going to give their product, their card, and you might be able to use your Old Navy card at Banana Republic, or you might be able to use your Banana Republic card at Old Navy. Difference is, or shall I say the similarities are, is that they will not have a Visa or MasterCard or Discover or any type of logo on it. It's just a store card that allows for you to shop specifically at that store, nowhere else. All right, credit cards are considered unsecured because there is no collateral securing the amount borrowed. Unsecured. That means you probably could get this item, but there are other credit products out there that are called secured credit products where you're securing it with your own resources. And we'll talk more about that as we continue to go through. So you got the revolving, you got charge cards. This form of credit is often mistaken to be the same as a revolving credit card. However, the major difference between credit cards and charge cards is the credit card can carry a balance, American Express. All right, some of the charge card, whereas the charge card must be paid in full each month. Again, American Express, it must be paid in full each month. So it's really important that you understand that. If you don't, they're going to hit you with a higher fee. They're going to hit you with higher interest. They're going to do a lot. And if you're okay with that, then that might work for you. If you're not okay with that, then you might want to go for a different charge card or a credit card. All right, so there are differences out here. And I need you to all understand, how do I make it work for myself? What are the things that I need to do? If you make enough money, good. Then this type of charge card might be good for you. If you don't, then you might want to go with a secured card. And if you are so unsure where you're not really 100%, then secure it on your own. Use your own money. Stop giving entities interest when you can secure it with your own money. Yeah, there's going to be some interest attached to it because it's a credit product, and that's how they draw up the contractual understandings. But if you're securing it with your own money, that's your interest. All right, American Express is an example of a well-known charge card. This form of credit is advantageous against accumulating credit card debt. All right, so there you have two forms already. Let's talk about installment cards. So installment credit is where the payment pretty much stays the same. It's a set amount. Installment credit involves a set amount borrowed, a set monthly payment, and a set time frame of repayment. Interest charges are predetermined and calculated into the set monthly payment. Common forms of installment credit arrangements are home mortgages and auto loans because they are, again, big purchases depending on the size and scope of a home or a vehicle that you're getting. And these are going to be something that obviously have some return on your investment. They will depreciate in some form or fashion, but they do have, as your mortgage, as the markets go up, so does your value of that property. If you buy a classic car that has a valuation to it and you keep it in those original understandings, then yes, the price of those will go up as well. But if you're buying a brand new car or a used car, but new to you, you're going to be set up with something that's called an installment. And it's going to be a monthly amount that you have to make sure that you're paying on a regular basis. And if for whatever reason you can't, you can still call them and you can say, hey, I'm not able to make my payment on time. What can we discuss? These are all negotiations. And work with those who want to work with you. If you're working with credit card companies or installment companies or anything that's giving you something, you got to make sure that they're working with you. Because if they're not working with you, they're working against you. And it's only going to hurt you. It's only going to hurt you. So I'm imploring everybody to make sure that you understand why you are doing what you're doing with your money. We're working too hard. We see interest rate is through the roof. But I'm telling you right now, don't be afraid of it. With all recoveries come the opportunity to do even better for yourself. Because the recovery means that they had to do something because of the current climate and situations. They had to instill something into the understanding to give it more momentum, to pick up that whatever it was lost. And if they're picking it up and it ramps back up, again, think about that earlier slide. If it ramps back up and it's doing good, then guess what? People are going to make out. And you're going to have to, you need to know how to make out. It's just that simple. So installment credit is also typically secured. Secured credit requires security for the lender. So that basically means that they want some type of collateral. The borrower must provide collateral, something of value, pledge in order to guarantee loan repayment. Your word is good, but unfortunately, it's not good enough. So they want to know that you are someone who's been paying their bills on time. They want to know that you are someone who has been working in a current employment situation for a good time frame. If you have a co-signer or a co-borrower, they want to see that as well because it gives them double the opportunity of collecting should the original borrower fall or default on their obligation. So collateral is normal for any type of understanding. If you're good already in your contractual understandings, they may not even need collateral. So it's just another way of looking at how well am I doing with my money. All right. If the borrower fails to repay or defaults on the loan, the lender may confiscate the collateral. A home is an example of collateral on a mortgage. A vehicle on an auto loan. If the borrowers were to default, the home and the vehicle would be repossessed. And there are some of us who have gone through that. Hands up if you've gone through a repossession. Hands up. I did a voluntary repossession prior to leaving California as I got hired with United Airlines, and this was back almost 20 years ago. And it did affect my credit, no question, but I was able to recoup from these understandings. I was able to recoup and rebounce from these. So what is a non-installment or service charge or service credit? The form of credit allowed the borrower to pay for a service, membership, etc. at a later date. So a non-installment or service credit. Generally, payment is due the month following the service, and unpaid balances will incur a fee, installment or interest and or penalty charge. Continued non-payments will result in service cancellation. I think there's a lot of products out there where you can buy, what's it called again? Fingerhut. This seems like it's one of these types of understandings. They're still good. They're still getting reported. They're still accumulating the necessary understandings that make them a non-installment or a service credit. But the biggest part that you want to walk away with is that it is also being reported to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Now, some of these items can also be cell phones, gas, electricity, your utilities, water, garbage. Again, utilities are examples of service credit. But also, again, Fingerhut, a lot of these places where you can buy products at a much, much higher price than they would be if you went into the actual store, falls into that category as well. So really be very, 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 very selective when it comes to your credit products. If you're paying more for your credit products than you should, I probably wouldn't be doing that. But again, you now have 4 different alternatives to make your credit life even better. You just got to, again, know how to use these products so that they're affecting you tremendously in the manner in which they should be affecting you. And if you're doing it right, you'll have no problem. And if you're doing it right, you'll have no problem. And like I said, if you're doing it right, you'll have absolutely no problem. And I know it's a bit challenging to figure these things out and to do these things effectively, but if you do, you'll have no problem. You'll have no problem navigating through these understandings. Do you want to know more about debt and how you can make smart financial decisions? Now, so we'll help you if you need help. It's easy to get the products you need. Right? We do have a monthly newsletter that's going to be coming out here pretty soon with some money tips. But until that happens, Leverage Credit Recovery. Leverage Credit Recovery at gmail.com. Go to our website. Go to our, we got a new Linktree. Linktree has been phenomenal because we can put all these understandings to it. All right, so opportunity just ahead. So how does one establish credit history? How do we do that? How do we make sure that everything that we're doing is actually being done in the manner in which it should? All right, so you can get a cell phone. That will help. It's not one that will do it per se, but it will help. Apply for a credit card. That will definitely do it. All right, that will definitely do it. Cell phones, utilities, unfortunately, they're not hitting the credit score in the manner in which we would like them. But applying for a credit card and then getting approved for that credit product would definitely help. Buy a home or renting an apartment. That will help. It will help with significantly. That will help significantly. All right, buying a car, as I stated, contractual understandings that would allow for you to be able to, again, build, reestablish credit. Apply for a home loan or apply for a loan and get it. Again, it's not just the application piece, it's also getting the actual product. And doing background checks for employment. All right, this is another way for an employer to make sure that they're getting someone who has substantial credit, someone who has good credit. Think about it in this manner. If you can't manage your own money, do you think employers are going to want you managing their money? I had to tell that to some students today, and they looked at me like, whoa, that was like a revelation. Shouldn't be a revelation. It should be an understanding. So these are just some ways to establish good credit history. All right, cell phone. They're now putting it onto your bills. You might be looking at Experian. Be careful. Experian Boost, be careful. It's a gimmick. It's a ploy. It's a joke. Again, as I stated, applying for credit cards, the application itself is just a way for them to look at your credit history. And if you're good, they'll give you the product, meet your terms and conditions, then you can move on. Rent or buy a home, same exact understanding. Meet terms and conditions, live up fully and truly to the understandings, and watch your credit score go through the roof. Buy a car, apply for a loan. Again, applying is just the information that you're supplying to them for them to decide whether or not they want to give you or extend you credit. And if you've been doing a great job, you're nothing to worry about. And then during background checks for employment, you might missed up on a job. Well, guess what might have happened? It might have come through the fact that your employer decided to check your credit. You didn't get a job? Well, again, it might have been that a potential employer was looking at your financial understanding. So there's opportunities to establish, reestablish, rebuild, get back on track. And if you don't know how, I'm telling you, Leverage Credit Recovery can walk you through whatever it is. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter how big, how small, it doesn't matter what income bracket you are in. If you are here in the United States and you have not found the key to be able to navigate through successfully, well, I'm telling you now, come see us. Come join in every Tuesday. Get this free information, because free is always the best thing in the whole wide world. And you can learn a lot and also apply a lot of what you're learning just from these understandings. And everything that we provide to you is a recommendation. We don't lock you into absolutely nothing unless you are wanting that understanding. But we want you to be successful. That's why we do this every single Tuesday. All right, 4 ways to build credit. All right, let's build credit with a credit card. With a credit card, let's build them with a credit card, because that's a great way. Unsecured would be best. Secured if you have an excellent credit profile. Only get a secured credit product if you have an excellent credit profile. Why? Because of the fact that, as I said, these secured products are going to charge you a hefty interest rate if you do not have a good established credit understanding. All right, good established. And if you do have a good established 780, 805, 810, you should be in the very lowest of interest percentiles. If you're not, if you're still in that high singles or in the doubles, you need to be calling Leverage Credit Recovery. You need to be talking to us. If you are still in that, if you're in that 750, 60, 70, 80, and you're still around the double digits or that high singles, you haven't called your credit card company and renegotiated, then you need someone like me to help you navigate through that part of it. So it's a great way to build with credit cards. Use credit building tools. There's a lot of credit products that have now come out. Again, be careful of these boosts that are coming out from Experian. Be careful of anyone offering gimmicks. Be careful. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to get locked into something and then they don't deliver. That's been the biggest issue that I've had with all of these products today. They're not reporting as the manner in which they should. They tell us one thing and they're in a contractual obligation with us, and then they go out there and they execute in a completely different manner or fashion. Practice good credit habits. Good credit habit is not having your bills spread out over the entire month. A good credit habit is having your bills within a week's time frame. You don't want to go more than 3 or 5 days. You want to have all your bills ready to be paid within a 3 to 5 day window. That's a great credit product, or excuse me, a great credit habit, because it allows for everything to be done. It gives you more than enough room. You don't have to think, oh, well, did I hit that bill? Did I get that bill? No, because we got it all spread out throughout the whole entire month. So our numbers or the data that's going to be entered in is never going to be entered in correctly, because it's all over the map. And they love it. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, they love it. They love to have you all over the map because they make money while we continue to suffer because they can't get it right accurately. That's the right that I'm looking for. They can't get it right accurately. Right? So this is a great way to practice good credit habits, and also allocate your cards to certain understandings. Allocate those cards. Groceries, one credit card. Gas, one credit card or secured card. So we got groceries, got gas, utilities, whatever you are doing with your credit products, put those onto whatever you're doing with your understanding of purchasing, put those onto certain credit products. It's going to make life so much easier. And as I stated, put everything within a 3 to 5 day window. You got to wait a few days before that credit product actually hits the report. If you pay your bill and you turn right back around and you use that product before it actually hits the report, you're going to be reporting it at a much higher utilization after you did the hard work of bringing it back down. All right. Important to practice good credit habits. Monitor your credit reports and scores. If you do not, what's the use of doing all this work and you're not even going to monitor to make sure that it's correct? That makes no sense. Get in front of everything that you're doing and then pay close attention to, because you're doing your part. And what we're finding out is that the entity that's been entrusted is not doing its part. I already talked to you about Maxine Waters. Her committee, the financial committee, has written horror stories about what Equifax, TransUnion, Experian are not doing. And then they instilled this entity called CFPB, which is a Consumer Financial Protections Bureau. And you would think they would be up on it as well. Nope. Sorry. Nope. They're not. Elizabeth Warren, I'm sorry to have to bash your baby. Barack Obama, I love you to death. I'm sorry to have to bash the entity that you brought under your watch that's really not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, Republicans, you can call me out. You can try to say, oh, we heard this new guy. He called out the CFPB because it's not doing what it needs to be doing. It's doing the job of protecting us, but it's not protecting us in the manner in which it should. And if you need some help, CFPB, I'm right here. Pick up the phone. LeverageCreditRecovery.com. LeverageCreditRecovery@gmail.com. You can send me a quick hello. We need somebody to come run our organization, our entity. If you do the job regulators in the manner in which you're supposed to be doing it, we would have no problem with making sure that all of this, the number one thing that your entities always preach is about accuracy. And you are delivering no accuracy at all. Not for the masses, at least. Not for the masses. All right, so the problem, credit providers aren't living up to their end of the contractual understanding. Just that simple. They aren't. They never have. They never will. And as long as regulators and legislators and congressional individuals are making money off of these types of entities, they will never do what they're supposed to do, because you can't check somebody who's paying you. You should be able to, but why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to make sure that, yeah, you're giving me some bread, so why am I going to make sure that you're doing the job the right way? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That would require me to really kind of have to chastise, really have to put it down on paper. It's the same thing when it comes to that investing, when it comes to that understanding that we must. It's a must. If you're not investing, you're wasting your bread. You're wasting your money. We have regulations, legislation, and consumer protection, which has been established to protect us. So where is it? What is it really doing? Every time these CEOs go to Congress and they sit up there and they talk 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 and they talk, they use beautiful words. They make it sound like, oh, we're going to go right back to our offices and we're going to do exactly what these people want from us. And they don't do absolutely nada. Nothing. Again, I can tell you right now, I had a letter that I sent in. The letter was addressed in the United States, done through CFPB. I get a response back from Canada. Yeah, not from the United States. I got a response back from Canada talking about, oh, we don't have a file on you. Well, of course not. You would never have a file on an American if CFPB, which is an American entity, decided to allow for Experian to say, well, let's send this over to Canada versus sending it right here to the United States. I can go on and on and on and on and on about these types of problems. Unfortunately, our regulators, legislators, and policymakers who are major investors in credit and financial products and will not regulate nor hold abusers of public trust accountable. They won't do it. They won't do it. They make their money off of these entities. So why would they regulate them in the manner in which it's going to hurt their bottom line? Conflict of interest over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And this is now the time where we have to put a timeout to that. We have to put a pause to that. You're either going to do the job for the people or you can't continue to operate in the manner in which you are. It's just that simple. 60 to 70% of the population, primarily Black and brown, suffer from these issues because they don't know how to address them. And almost said the D word, but I definitely know how to address them. And I would love to be able to address it for anybody who is unsure how to. Because all it is negotiation. You put me in front of a judge, a jury, a defendant, prosecution, it don't matter. It don't matter. You got me on your side. I guarantee you're going to walk away with probably nothing out of pocket or the very, 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 very minimum. Because it's not what you don't know, it's what I know. And it's about what I want to make sure that you and yours have a full understanding to be able to do it on your own equally. Because I don't want to just give you a fish so you can eat for a day. I want to teach you how to fish so you can eat for a lifetime. And it's not that hard to do. You got to want it more than those who are presenting it or offering it to you. All right, so having a strong credit score as an asset will open a new world of opportunities for you. It's just that simple. Just that simple. Having a strong credit score as an asset will open new worlds of opportunities for you. Credit recovery is an investment in your in your future self. Credit recovery is an investment. As this nation recovers, you should also equally be in the recovery mode as well. Our business name was strategically thought up to give you leverage, to focus on that credit while we all recover. You must know your due dates, you must know your report dates, and you must know the actual report date. All right, the due date is always going to be on your bill or your statement. It's going to be somewhere highlighted or brought out so that you know exactly when your bill is due. And it's normally the contractual date of when you decided to get a product. So that's normally 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever days in between, but it's normally the day of. If you sign a contract on a Tuesday, the 8th, your bill is probably going to be Tuesday the 8th, or not Tuesday the 8th, but it's going to be the 8th of that particular upcoming month. All right. Your report date. This is the date that they are contractually bound to report your item to Equifax TransUnion Experian. We have now found that these companies are reporting up to 28 days later because, again, how your cycles are. You're all over the map. You're paying on the 1st, you got something paying on the 3rd, you got something paying on the 8th, you got something paying on the 16th, you got something paying on the 21st, you got something paying on the 13th. You got bills all over the place. So your cycles are all out of whack. Why are businesses so successful? Well, I'll tell you why they're so successful, because they have record keepers, they have bookkeepers, they have accountants, they have all of these fangled, high-educated individuals who are now using technology to keep a business afloat. You as a consumer, you have yourself. Okay? You need assistance. You need help. You can't do this all on your own. And for anyone to think that they can, I'm sorry, you're a bit disillusioned. Now, if you are successfully doing it, gotta give it to you. I want you on my show. I want you to share with me how you're doing it. That's an open invite to anybody who's already rocking it, who's already got that 850, who's already doing everything on point. I need you to come visit me, sit down, talk with me, and give me some of your tidbits, your understandings, because it's only going to help us the individuals, us the world, us the United States of America. Credit products are they're global. So when we talk about inflation, we're talking about a global issue. When we talk about credit products, we're talking about a global issue. When we talk about mainly finances, we're talking about a global issue. So this is not just affecting the United States of America. This is affecting a worldwide understanding. And as the world recovers, as America itself recovers, as all of these other countries recover, we're going to eventually get to where we need to be, which is sustainability. But until we get there, we're going to have to continue to keep moving and chugging along as we are chugging along. In the United States, again, as I told you and showed you on that graph, you bet against the United States. I wouldn't if I were you, but that's just me. All right, so remember, due date. The due date, that means it is due on this particular date. The report date, it should be on your bill statement. If it's not, you want to call them and you want to ask them, when do you report to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian? You need that preferably in writing, because then this way you can hold them to that date. And then as soon as you make your payment, as soon as that payment is processed, you want to know when it is reported, because that's normally happens between 5 to 7. Again, find out, because they have all of these misunderstandings. 3 to 5 days, 5 to 7 days, up to 12 days. I mean, why? This is a standard understanding that should not have multiple misunderstandings. As I said, deception, misleading the consumer. Credit Karma was just hit with a fine for doing one thing that they should not have been doing, which is misleading consumers with their garbage product. Yeah, I'm going to call anything that is taking advantage of consumers, I'm going to call it garbage because it needs to be thrown in the trash. CFPB, can you help us out here? FTC, can you help us out here? Attorney generals, can you help us out here? Local, state officials, can you help us out here? You want to get through this financial recovery in a better manner than we currently are doing it now? Talk to me. LeverageCreditRecovery@gmail.com. LeverageCreditRecovery.com. Just that simple. And the last one, you want to make sure that they accurately report it. When did it actually hit your report? Because if it hit after the report date, then that's a violation of the contractual understanding on your behalf. So that means you are one leg up. And if you understood that like I understood it, you'd be fighting for it. You'd be doing everything in your power to make sure that they're doing these three things correctly. These three things. They're giving you your due date because they want to get paid. They're giving you your report date because they know that you're not going to adhere to making sure that you check it afterwards, because that's why they get, again, up to 28 days later. And actual report date, you want to make sure that it hits on the time frame that they told you it's going to hit. And if it didn't happen, you got a violation, and that violation needs to be addressed. All right, so a necessary conversation. Do you have any questions? Because we know you do. We know you do. We know you have an abundance of questions. It's now time to stop sitting on your hands. Stop keeping the mouths closed. It's now time to open up so that we can get a better understanding of how we can help you. Let's get them credit scores up to where they need to be. Let's bring our financial understanding back to that understanding where we know we can do better, because it's now up to you. Financial empowerment through debt management. November 2nd, Yonkers Library has given me the opportunity to step up to the plate and really put it out there. Soul City Network has given me the opportunity, and I'm knocking it out the park, and people are taking notice. A necessary conversation about financial empowerment through debt management. And if you haven't tried Linktree, definitely get over there to Linktree. Linktree is doing some amazing things. I was really impressed by Linktree because it really does. It has all of these opportunities where you can click. You can put all your stuff on one page, and then you can send it out. And it's just brilliant. It's just really, really a cool app, a cool program that allows for you to, again, put everything on one little space, send it out so people can click, and it takes you right exactly to where you need to go. But as always, folks, I am so grateful to be doing what I'm doing. Here's some of my contact information. Again, my phone number is 805-428-9424. Again, 805-428-9424. My Linktree is Linktree, or linktr.ee/leverage credit recovery. And you can find us on just about any social media site, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We are here for you, folks. We are here to set it straight. We are here to make sure that every opportunity that you need to be financially secure is going to be there. It's going to be there. It's going to be there for you. Do you got nothing to worry about. If you take care of you, the rest of it will take care of itself. You take care of you, and the rest of it that needs to be taken care of will take care of it for you. It's just that simple. As always, everybody, thank you so much for giving us the time. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Please, if you are unsure about what you need to do when it comes to your money, it's time that you reach out. As I said, we got major events coming up. We got this Halloween coming up. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We got all of those Cyber Mondays and those Black Fridays where we're going to be throwing bread at all kinds of corners and orifices and everything. You got Thanksgiving coming up. You got Christmas coming up. You got the New Year's coming up. You got these major shopping understandings coming up. And it's now time. Do we keep spending and complaining, or do we find other means of securing and making sure that our financial future is going to be there regardless of the conditions, circumstances, or understandings? Again, as always, folks, my name is Tyrone Glover. I'm the Dressed Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I want to thank you for giving me part of your Tuesday, and I wish you all a successful week, and join us for further necessary conversations. Love you. Be safe, America.